We all go a little mad sometimes.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
They're here.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm Lee, and I want to be in the requel.
And I'm Nathan, and I'd prefer only to be in the first 3 of these films.
We don't talk about 4.
We don't talk about 3 either. I'm not that into that one.
Get the fuck out of here. 3 was great. You loved it. You laughed. You lived, laughed, loved that movie.
Oh. For some fashion choices, maybe.
You're obsessed with her, and you're obsessed with her daughter.
And you're listening to They're Here
Podcast.
A discussion
Dissection.
of all things horror,
Fear.
and the macabre.
Okay, so, like 2 hours ago, we went to go see the new Scream.
Yeah.
Goddamn lady. I had a great time.
It was... It was fire. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Was, yeah. I
Good
said
time.
to you on the way in there, I was ready to love or defend this movie on the way out. But,
I thought that was hilarious. I was like, oh, either I'm going to agree with this or I'm going to tear the new arsehole, really.
oh no, for real. Like, see, that's like the only reason why I was nervous going into this. Just because it's like a building upon like an already existing
Fandom
like
of
thing.
a fandom of a fandom.
And it's like the one that's like, you know, my like main one. Like it's my fucking favorite movie. So it was like, what are they going to change? What are they going to like bring in? But yeah, spoiler alert, I loved this movie like a lot.
Yes. And just in case y'all are wondering, or you didn't see our story on our Instagram page, hello, follow us, Instagram, yeah. We are talking about 5 Cream.
5 Cream,
Or Scream 2022.
Oh, spoiler alert, we're just going to talk about this movie.
Yes, we there's no holds barred. It is officially released today, so the embargo on people's opinions and shit are fully withheld. Or sorry, no longer being held, I should say.
You have 2 days to see this movie before you listen to this.
Yeah, because we're recording in 2 days.
No, literally, guys, like we literally just got back.
Oh yeah, like, so what you're hearing is going to be like full on just initial thoughts.
Yeah.
And like, of course, like I've said this before, and obviously our other like immediate reviews, like we are going to do like a retrospective of this a year down the line, or even 6 months from now, whatever. We're going to be doing another review of this, like further in depth kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or no? I guess
I don't know
not.
who the fuck told you that. That doesn't make no sense. We're going to talk about this show for like an hour and a half or something.
I guess.
Yes. Oh, so we're going to do a retrospective of Candyman eventually. And
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Well, you did say your opinion changed of Halloween after the first viewing, and you were talking a lot about that today as well.
Yeah, and then we watched the next movie. Okay, anyway.
Okay,
We shall see what time holds.
Exactly. Like, and now, like we said, full on, this is a spoiler review, so turn this shit off if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want it spoiled. We're not holding back. We're going to fully jump into this shit. We're going to deep dive, and we are not going to lubricate before we do it.
Pretty much the entire way home, we like just went. We're kind of holding like, well, Nathan is holding opinions, but like I kind of just gushed as soon as we came out.
Just goshed all over this thing.
No, we kind of spent the entire like bus home, kind of just being like, okay, like this. And
The whole time, you were the whole time.
Okay, very well done. Very well done.
It was there. I had to go for it. We got a new soundboard, y'all.
No, but for real, this was great. The theater was relatively empty. There
Relatively
was
empty. It was like 5 people, not including us.
maybe.
No, not including us. There was like 3 in
There
front
was a
of
dude
us.
behind us in what was
one
supposed to be our
dude.
seat.
Was he?
Yeah, that's why I was like, do you want to
notice
sit in
that.
front? Because we were like, well, not our seat. He was
Because we like
one
the
seat
back in the
away.
middle or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to go book the tickets, and the last 2, I was like, right, where do you want to sit? Because nobody had booked seats yet. And we picked like middle row back, or like middle of the row, back row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just like tradition. It's like the one you want. But yeah, some dude was like sitting right there. So I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be the person that's like, well, it's our seats, and go sit next to somebody in an empty theater. Like, because then we're the asshole.
How dare you?
So like, but there's something said to be about like an empty theater watching a movie.
Yeah,
it's like super fun. You don't have to like immediately just be like, because like sometimes like now I consider it a faux pas, but like to be talking like like how we're talking now, like normal voice in a theater. I have a problem with people who do that, but like considering it was like nearly fucking empty,
and we were right next to each other, we could kind of like, oh shit, what is this?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, oh, see, I'm terrible. I just kind of am that person in a movie that like, I won't like just talk the whole time, but like, you know, if something
but also
happens,
like
you have
it's
to turn to
Scream
people and be like, oh my god, yeah.
It's like Scream, and also like we're there to like, we're not just experiencing the film, we're literally turning around, we're like, ooh, what like, what? You know what I mean? Like every time like something was mentioned, I was like, oh, what? You know what I mean? I was like fully on goshing.
I at one point near the end of this like stamped my feet and like exclaimed, yes bitch, like out loud in the cinema or whatever. It was a loud part, so I don't think anybody heard, but like,
Oh yeah.
I was the power of Scream compelled me, you know. I was
a shriekle for
so
yeah,
good. It was just
it was good. Like, okay, so out of 5 stars, go.
Initial viewing, I'm gonna say 5, like that's so corny or whatever, but in my mind I'm like, it was just really, really good. Like it was like kind of top notch, you know.
Yeah,
I wasn't let down at all.
Yeah, no, like I came away from a positive for sure. Yeah. Like there's no like, how do I just pull it? Just uncork that shit.
You didn't even hear it. See?
I heard the initial squeeze though. So like my initial was positive. Like I don't really have anything negative that I can think of.
And you're not a sequel person.
I'm really not a sequel person.
Sequel.
Yeah, but I'm genuinely happy with this movie, and I would give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah,
only because I did see. I called one of the killers like from about midway through the film. I did, and it's also, this is what happened with Scream 4 is even though I didn't fully watch the film, when I seen Emma Roberts as like one of the billing, I was like, she's the killer, and I called it, and without even seeing most of the movie, I was like, she's the killer, and I knew it straight away, and I was right. But like with this one, I did know that obviously like who one of the killers was, but I didn't know who the other one is, because traditionally there's always 2,
and that's still fun.
Yeah. Oh no, like it's still fun because it's a guessing game. It's a whodunit kind of guessing game.
They call it out there, like at the core, like stab movies are supposed to be, or Scream movies are supposed to be.
Stab movies breaking the fifth wall. Fifth dimensional beings.
I've laid flat, you know.
You've spaghettified yourself.
Yeah, a photo of me has been turned at an angle. But yeah, no, I like how they kind of got into it. Well, I suppose, they do mention like stab movies, aka Scream movies, are just like always supposed to be like slasher whodunits. That's just like what they are at their core, and like it shouldn't be changed, you know. Yeah. And they really brought that with this movie. They like really
they went in.
Made by Radio Silence, made Ready or Not. Yeah. Fuck me, dude.
And of course,
I'm so proud of them.
Yeah, like it is done really, really well, and like obviously the violence and the gore is a little bit more amped up this time, and I think just purely because I think you even said it earlier, something about the fact that the Scary Movie franchise had sort of like castrated Ghostface in a way that they needed to make him more intimidating or frightening in a way.
Because they brought that in Scream 4, because like the first 3 movies, I suppose like the first 2 movies, Ghostface is just like kind of bumbling, kind of falls all over the place. But
true.
Like, again,
but only because Stu was the one that was like...
But even in the second movie, you know, like
idiot.
A lot of shit happens. People are able to fight back because these killers are never like supernatural or like superhuman at all. They're just people, you know? And then in Scream 4, they kind of amped up the... Okay, we can't have him fuck up. We can't have him falling all over the place because the reputation of Scary Movie
it's been tarnished.
Yeah, people kind of associate the two together, which I guess is like hard not to, you know.
It's true. Like I was saying in our retrospective of the first film, it was hard for me not to imagine like the sheriff suddenly pulling out nudes, going, "What do you think of this, Sydney?"
you know.
Oh my god, it's so true. I think
Cheek, the nerve, the gall, the audacity, and the gumption.
So like, let's get into it. Let's talk about this opening. You and I, after like purely as the actual title rolled, we were looking at going like audible gasp. You know what I mean? Gasp.
Yeah, I am. This is what I had the highest like expectation for. Yeah, because it's the only thing that we're like for sure to get in a Scream movie is an opening kill.
Yeah.
Twist, we don't get an opening kill.
We get an attack.
A surviving. It was, but it was so brutal. It might as well have been a killing. It might as well have been a killing. I think it's like one of the more violent ones we've seen. Yeah. Because usually in these, somebody gets like
full on that killer full on broke her leg.
Yeah.
Like, and not at the knee, but like
like right
in
above
the femur
like,
bone.
the shin.
Oh,
Fucks
Jesus.
this shit up.
Yeah.
But so, do we want to kind of get like a little bit scene by scene a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, especially for
As
the
far as we
opening,
can
for
go, I
sure.
guess.
Because this opening to me, I mean, obviously it's derivative because it's something to be expected about the phone ringing and answering it, like, who's your favorite scary movie? Do you want to die tonight?
The opening that pays most amount, like homage to the first movie.
I do want to say the first thing that I did kind of notice was obviously the fact that there was no kill. Was immediately in my head I was like, oh, does that mean like this was meant to be a setup as the person who's the victim is actually the killer? I started to think
that too, like that would be a really good throw off.
Yeah,
you know, like a really good setup to kind of have said like, so it's Tara, she's like she's heavily featured. She's
she was in the trailers.
What is her fucking name again?
Well, while you're looking that up, well, basically, like, this is the throw that I absolutely loved, was the fact that when he goes, "What's your favorite scary movie?" she replies with "The Babadook." Yeah, and I literally like sat back in my seat. Was like, yes, bitch, this is exactly what I was looking for, because
Jenna Ortega,
when she turned around and she said like the Babadook, and then she started rolling off those names, It Follows, Hereditary, The Witch, exclusively A24 films. I was like, yes, that's what I want. That is. And I love how it's not shitting on those films, because what A24 is, because we talked about the fact that it was elevated horror. Yeah. She brings up the fact that it's elevated horror and not just some sort of shitty slasher movie. Not her quote, but adjacent to what she was saying about it.
Yeah, the implication was there.
Yeah, and I loved how Scream was able to sort of turn that on its head and still be like, yeah, but like, but it's still good, you know what I mean? And I agree with that, because this Scream was still good even after seeing like Hereditary, The Witch, It Follows, you know what I mean? I was still happy with
a lot of like, I don't know, people's complaints and stuff, I guess, with the original. Like she says, like, they're all overlit, you know,
cliched, like
but again, I think like Scream kind of like can only really work when there is kind of a shift, or like a, I don't know, something like pop culturally, because like those like the movies rely so heavily on pop culture references, horror especially.
That's what you were saying earlier, was about the fact that like you wouldn't want another Scream film like a year down the line. Give it another 5 years or something.
Let there be a change up, because this is the requel, the kind of, I think, like,
I still don't understand that terminology. Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
The Thing remake, even though it wasn't a remake, because it was technically a sequel but also a prequel, but basically the same thing happens in it. Or Jurassic World. You know, it's like I think people would call them reboots, but it's like, that's not really what a reboot is.
Like, would you call it a soft reboot?
Yeah, it's like in universe. I actually think, what is her name? Randy's niece, Mindy, calls it out, where it's like, it has to be something. It can't be new. It can't be brand new, because there's no point of rebooting from the very start. Yeah. But also, you want to like have something in a pre-existing universe that's new, but not too new to like change it around.
Yeah, because she was saying like the fans would shit all over it and people would universally hate it. The internet would go crazy. Exactly. All of those type of things, for sure. Yeah.
The internet is kind of, I'm glad they didn't super like, because they kind of tried to do that with Scream 4 by like mentioning like Twitter and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. They kind of don't really do that. I mean, we have Reddit, but that's not like social media. Like they talk about kind of Reddit and stuff like that a lot in this movie, but it's not in your face. I really was like, fuck, I don't want any like Instagram kills. Or,
you know, the one thing I was hoping that they wouldn't do, especially with this opening scene, was the way she was messaging on the phone. I was hoping that fucking like scrolling thing that would appear on screen, like who they're talking to. I cannot stand that. I really, really hate it in films. You know, the way when someone is messaging, like it pops up on the screen itself, in frame. Yeah, I hate that. I really do. I don't like it, and I just liked that it was on the phone. I liked it was kept there. You know what I mean? And especially because it's used as a plot device as well, because obviously the killer who is talking to her would be, spoiler, Richie, and the killer on the phone is no, because that's Amber.
That's a
the
flip.
thing.
Yeah, she actually is texting Amber.
Yeah,
but she's like, this isn't Amber.
Yeah, so like they're kind of fucking with you in a way, but because it makes it seem like fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we get little like kind of peaks. We get the kind of like usual, the kind of like what you would do if
It
you were
rings
gonna
once,
reference
she
the
hangs
first-
up.
Yeah.
It rings again, she gets a little weirded out by it.
Yeah,
hangs
there's
up.
like the questions and the games and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, I don't know anything about this. And then she just cheats.
Oh yeah, by doing like a little quick search ups and
Yeah.
things like that. It was smart. It was smart, to be fair.
Yeah, I
but I
guess.
mean, then again, like the killer's gonna turn around and fucking kill you anyway. So what
Yeah.
difference does it make?
But then he didn't.
Yes.
That was the thing that really, really shocked me. Because we also didn't find out that she didn't die straight away. Because,
Yes.
like, I mean, okay, we know that everybody in every opening scene dies. But, like, most of the time we don't actually get to, like, see the, like, last confirmed thing. Like, for Cotton Weary, we get to see the, like, knife go, like, towards his face. But we don't
Yeah.
get to see, like, the
Because it
actual
usually
kill.
cuts to the title itself.
Exactly. And then Drew was, like, you know, she was seen dead. We didn't see her, like, get gutted and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I just assumed that's what it was. But she called the police and has the police show up. The police show up as...
Yeah, because you
ready
can
to
see
kill
the
her.
blue lights like flashing in the background.
And
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, wait, are we about to... I really thought that we were about to get, like, an unmasking, like, straight away.
Yeah.
You know? And there was a couple of times in this movie where I thought, like, we're going to find out who the killer is mid-movie.
Yeah.
Something that's, like, it's going to continue on for longer. And now, my suggestion was, I wish, as a switch-up, maybe for this movie, maybe in another movie, that, like, a killer doesn't get, like, caught at the end of a movie. And
It's
just
like part
continue it
one
on.
of two. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, kind of a Halloween Kills kind of thing. Like, pick up on the same night. I think that would be really, really cool. And kind of like a...
Or you said
shit.
something about like there's actually like well, I mean there's always two, but there's two ghost faces and they don't know that.
Yeah, two
like
parallel
each of them
but
aren't
never linking
planning.
up Ghostface
Yeah.
things. I thought that would be really cool because I really, really thought we were going to have a surprise pop-up third killer at the end of this movie. That would be somebody that neither of the other two Ghostface knew about.
Yeah.
You know, I thought there was going to be some kind of twist, but I was happy with the switch up of an opening.
Yeah.
Because it kept you on your toes. It wasn't... I mean, actually, no, it was brutal, but it wasn't very scary. But also, I think, like, that's an us thing. Like, it's kind of hard to scare us with slashers. Like, I don't go
absolutely.
to a slasher to be terrified.
Yeah.
You know?
I always look at it like the killer's gonna jump out of this closet this time or that, because it is sort of blatantly obvious, and it's not I can see how Scream is not trying to be a jump scare anymore, because like there's no point to that really.
Yeah, it's over. It's played.
It's very blasé. And yeah, so the next thing I want to talk about is this actual title. Let's have a go at this.
Five cream.
So like traditionally, or not traditionally, I mean Scream 1 and 2, Scream 1 didn't, it was just kind of like smoky writing and then Scream appears, and then the second one is smoky writing that turns into the red 2.
It's when we get the Scream font. We get the Scream font for Scream 2. The actual font in the first movie is just like kind of insert text here. Like, you don't get the actual like pointed lettering and all that kind of stuff until the second movie.
And then Scream 3 has the E as the 3, I think.
No, they didn't do all that.
They just did the 3 in the background.
Yeah, it's like Stab, Cotton's Face, Scream 3 in the back.
Yeah, and
But
then
it is
Scream
kind of
4 is
weird.
where they changed the A into the 4.
Yeah, Scream 4M.
Scream 4 AM.
But I don't know. I think like,
But we
lot of
didn't get
movies just
a number
drop.
this time.
No,
we
it's
just got Scream.
a la Halloween 2018. But a lot of movies do that now though, because I think like there's a
like integrate like the thing.
well, not
into...
even like putting the letter in. Most of them just don't do numbers whatsoever. That's why like the Resident Evil movies get confusing because none of them have numbers. It's not Resident Evil 2. It's Resident Evil Retribution or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like the trend now, which does make things confusing. But also, it's just easier to sell something as something new versus being the 6th or 5th one. Mm-hmm. You know, it's totally marketing.
Well, the other thing it was like I actually found interesting about that opening was the locking system that she had on her phone.
Yeah, that was cool.
How, like, what kind of like fucking app does it have that? And I get the voice changer thing, but like, what does the killer have that automatically allows them to hack into someone's house and undo the lock system?
You can hack shit so easily, though.
Well, they did mention cloning the phone,
which to me was always a stupid ass conceit in the Scream movies, where I'm like, yeah, but what did you actually mean by that? They cloned my phone. What the fuck are you even talking about? I thought like it could make more sense by getting text on like on like a WhatsApp or something like that, because it's so much easier to like hack somebody's account versus clone their phone.
You get out of
here.
here.
I only have started using that quote since it's been put on the
on our cell guide. No, so like yeah, I just thought it would be interesting to see if the 5, because I think I even said that to you as the title screen rolled, was like, would the 5 show up, or were they gonna do it in another way that like we didn't expect, you know?
Well, I saw some fan art and stuff like that just made like the arch in the M,
like a V. Yeah,
I thought that would have been so much cooler. Because like I don't know, it kind of does annoy me when it's like we have 3 movies called Halloween.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And 2 of them are in continuity with each other. Like, the now canonical, the sequel to the first Halloween movie
is called Halloween.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of irritating. I feel like you should just drop that for slasher or like horror movie shit, because like there's already an audience built in. People are gonna see like even if it's trash.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And that's actually a running theme throughout this film, is the actual fan base. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it. So the next thing I really wanted to talk about was like top billing versus like the original 3, right?
Yeah, the original 3 got a with and Courtney Cox, or David Arquette and Neve Campbell got a with Neve Campbell and blah blah blah, and then Courtney Cox got a and Courtney Cox. They're the last people to show up like in the credits, like in the picture credits, like they did in the first thing.
So we have the top 3, which are top 3. So you have Dewey, Sheriff Dwight, who is ex-Sheriff Dwight now.
Yeah, he's quote unquote retired, but he got fired.
And then you have Gail Weathers, and then you have Sidney Prescott. So Dewey, let's talk about Dewey. We might as well just like jump in there right now and like get into it.
What are you gonna say?
Okay, so major.
We can't jump ahead that far.
We can if we want to. It's our podcast.
I know, but I don't want to, because that's like halfway through the movie and kind of one of the bigger spoilers.
Okay, well then you start, seeing as you're so smart. Get into my notes there. Have a look.
Our notes. I'll have you. Okay, who were you talking to on the bus? Oh, you were sitting on the bus alone, were you? So Tara we find out later that Tara, this is where we get to meet all the friends.
Yeah.
You know, actually no, first we get to meet the older sister.
Samantha.
With it says it on the track.
Richie.
It says it was on the track.
Yeah,
the soundtrack to this movie was actually kind of nice.
It is lit.
Missing is Marco Beltrami's score entirely. We only get Cindy's lament at the end as like a little stinger when everything is kind of finished, which was nice to hear. It I really noticed it when it popped out, you know?
Yeah.
So we kind of are introduced to our like friend group. So we have Dillon Minette from 13 Reasons Why as Wes Hicks.
That's where I've seen him before, because I didn't like think, I was like, I know him, but he has that terrible hair dye on top. It was very early 2000s. I was like, oh.
You see, I was shocked. I was like shocked at kind of like when things go down, because like a lot of some of these people are actually like kind of quite well known.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, they're like big Gen Z stars or whatever. I guess
that's even said in the thing. Sorry, Gen Z, the party's over.
It's so true though. But
I'm saving your life. I'm saving your life.
I had a big question of like, wait, why are you ending? Oh, now I know why they ended the party.
Yeah.
So abruptly. Wow, that makes so much sense, because like
planned.
I know, but like when that happened before we knew, we were both like,
why? Yeah, because they were just there to get the inhaler, but then we realized,
what is this, Halloween last year?
Bitch.
Oh my God, fuck that girl. So we have Dillon Minette as Wes Hicks. Nice little reference.
Nice little reference
for
Wes.
We have Mickey Madison as Amber Freeman, who was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
We have Mason Gooding and Jasmine Savoy Brown as the twins. That's who they were kind of referred to as, like in promotion.
Yeah,
but they're both Randy's nieces and nephews.
That's just I love how she takes obviously after him, which is crazy.
Oh yeah, like they kind of dress her similar.
Yeah,
she like
even the green t-shirt.
Role. Yeah. But also I like that they didn't just make her Randy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because she also okay. Just a very quick side note. this movie does not go by the morality rule for horror movies because sex, drugs, any of that doesn't matter anymore.
No.
Like, we don't go by that at all. They even call it out specifically by being like, you were loose, but I guess that doesn't really change anything nowadays because it's liberation. So, and Sonia Ben Amar, who is Liv Mackenzie, who is a Mackenzie who lived down the street from Casey Becker. I love that.
There's all these little Easter eggs, and we'll get into them. It's fun.
Oh, that was my favorite thing about this movie, was just sit there, and I actually do really want to go see it again real soon, just because
you're going to see it in 4D.
Yeah.
Gross.
Whatever. I might not actually.
Who are you?
Person who wants to go see a fucking movie, lady. Whatever.
Sure.
But he went to go see a movie again. What a loser.
In 4D. What a loser.
Nathan, when I said something about 4D today, you went, "Oh, I'll one up that." Have you ever heard of the fifth dimension? Fucking hell!
Don't even go there.
So yeah, we're kind of introduced to like the new friend group, I guess. But like, these people have seen all the movies, and they basically have seen Scream. Do you know what I mean? But
stop.
But yeah, that's why I said basically. You see how that works? When we open our ears. You know? But yeah, we're kind of introduced to this new group, and this is also another part where I was kind of like, oh, like, how is this going to be? Is everybody just going to be like the archetype and just kind of be slotted into one of like the original? We also get Kyle Gallner as Vince Schneider, who to me was like the biggest red herring.
Yes.
In all the he actually wasn't on the poster though, which to me made me think he's like, he won't be there. You know what I mean? Just like whatever. But then the tagline for the poster was "The killer is on this poster," which to me I kind of thought was a little bit lame. But I was like, okay, it's also kind of like a fuck you a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was gonna kill. But
he's in the movie for all of like what, less than 5 minutes?
Yeah, I thought he was.
And has no bearing on the story at all.
He's Stu's cousin.
Yeah, but he has no bearing on the story whatsoever. I
think it is just like a pure intentional red flag, though, like a total red herring. Like on purpose, because like literally, the next attack is
his dad,
him, isn't it? Yeah. It's like
he's
they're all hanging out in a bar, which made me
Yeah.
think like, wait, are they all drinking? Because then they were all talking about like being 18 and stuff like that. But like,
you can't drink till you're 21.
I know, but they were talking past tense about like having been 18. So I was like, wait, are they like in school, but then they're wearing like Letterman sweaters? Whatever. It's the new friend group.
The continuity.
Good, but we actually don't even end up spending that much time with this entire friend group. Like throughout the movie, we get a lot of kind of one-on-ones with Dewey and Sam.
Which is it's just
Care to add anything at all?
Well, the kind of like big points I had were just certain points that really just kind of stood out to me more so than anything else. I literally have notes saying like, these were the people who to me were like forgettable.
Yeah,
and that's no shade, but
we just spend the least time with these people.
Yeah.
But then we get introduced to, actually just before this,
they come across as cannon fodder, because like on that poster, let me be very clear, they just look like it looks like there could just be a load of red X's just crossed across, like this is gonna this will die, this will die, this will die, you know what I mean?
But like, those are the Scream movies.
Oh no, but that's what I mean.
You know? Like we kind of, but also I kind of fuck all of them end up dying. It's kind of just Wes.
Yeah.
You know, everybody kind of survives in this movie. There was a lot of, one thing I will say is there was a lot of holding of the knife.
Yes.
I was like, okay, but is there going to be...
And then the other hand suspiciously comes on top of it to push it down.
I did love that.
Yeah.
I think that was with Deputy Hicks. Deputy Hicks is also... or not Deputy, Sheriff Hicks.
Sheriff Hicks.
She got promoted.
Yes.
I thought that was so cool, you know? And they also kind of completely throw her out of being a red herring, because in Scream 4, like, we just had like a little Screamathon literally yesterday, and the scene where her and Sydney first meet, she's literally like, hiding in a dark corner, like minus like a vampire or something like that. Like, they make her so creepy. But
she's like half a void in that film. For that one scene, she's half a void.
When she walks back, we actually had like kind of a running joke yesterday that like black holes are just a thing, because they even say in Scream 3, Maureen just disappeared, went into a black hole, and then in Scream 4, Judy Hicks walks back into the hallway into total blackness. That's just it, you know.
Oh gosh. So let's break it down. So we're gonna go for Wes and his mother. Let's talk about Sheriff Judy and her son, which is totally cute.
Yeah, it's adorable. They set it up straight away, you know.
I love it.
But
she does this whole sushi thing where she's like,
just fucking Scream 4. She just didn't have a son. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
yeah, of course.
It would be like 10 or 11 or something in that movie.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because it was, 10 years later?
Exactly
10 years later or
ago.
something?
Well,
yeah.
Just over 10 years ago.
It's like, because, she would have mentioned that.
I think they just kind of brought it in so that they can have like a
the
returning
emotional
character.
connection.
Yeah, and have a returning character from 4. You know, because like there's not. They skip over the fact that Roman was ever a thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Actually, come to think of it, let's just talk about that real quick. So they completely ignore Scream 3, let's face it, and they only slightly reference, although non-mentionable name of the murders that happened, quote unquote, 11 years ago,
and that's it. They don't ever mention jail or anything. Mm-hmm.
It's just
yes,
and like it was just very much, and I'm guessing not that they want to how do I say it, what was the word, retcon,
just refer to off screen,
but just refer to off screen, but still like keeping it in the universe because it fucking happened. It happened. It's one of the main reasons why the three of them are still alive and Sheriff Hicks is still there. So it makes sense.
But see, I don't find it necessary. I find like with what they're doing now with Halloween and Texas Chainsaw and what I'm expecting to be Friday the 13th, big legal thing just went down there where like the rights have actually reverted back so they can do whatever they want with it now. Mm-hmm. But all them timelines are so messy and they need to be retconned. Whereas like with Scream, it's all been pretty tight and kind of concise.
Yeah,
like
and
I
gotta admit,
on the way out, it's yet to be tarnished and it's yet to get super convoluted and stuff. I think
there's
Roman
suddenly
is kind
a cult
of
in it and everything.
see, that was another theory I had kind of when the first trailers were coming out and when it was announced. I was like, what if there's just like a whole friend group doing it? That would be fucking just like crazy. There's like 5 Ghostface killers
fucking everything up. Is that a full theory that you have?
That would be cool though. I think that could be kind of, but they kind of end up going in that direction now. We have like Cult of Chucky and we had like the cult with Michael Myers and all that kind of shit, you know.
That's a good conspiracy theory. God damn, me and my soundboard. So when that was the one thing, I actually wrote that down as a note, which was their spoiler alert, they fucking die. People die in this movie.
It's brutal.
It is brutal.
It's so intimate, kind of sexy.
That's what I meant. I was like, so what I wrote down as the thing is it's a reference to Katie's death because they were literally inches from each other without even knowing. And I mean, obviously, like Casey's like struggling to get to her parents, but it's also a reflection on Judy because she's literally like less than 5 feet away from her living son and she's stabbed to death. A male Psycho reference. I thought that was cool. We got a male kind of gratuitous shower scene for once. I thought that was kind of cute. Yeah, didn't he even say it was like, have you ever seen Psycho or something like that? Did he say that?
The shower turn on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because the little looking up at the thing. It is brutal, but they also do that thing which audible eye roll. They did it 3 times when he opened the door.
I thought it was cool
because she was going out for sushi.
She went out for sushi and she was being super cute. He was like, "Why don't you just DoorDash it?" And she's like, "I'm gonna go and collect it because by the time it gets here, it gets all squidgy, and I know you don't like."
Aww. But it's like super and like she kisses him, she's like, I love you, all that type of thing. And then there's the note about the lemon squares, because you read it obviously as a reference to you read it as basically
it's a Scream 4 reference. Well, that's but I thought it was weird. Just
this is not what you tell me I'm not.
I thought it was weird, just kind of in retrospect when we came back, but it was really sweet because like it's the note that it's like she walks out the door and it's left on the fridge behind her.
Yeah.
And
she's literally dead.
But she gets a call in car which is kind of good, kind of a Cotton Weary kind of situation.
Yeah.
She's like speeding home, and she gets. But okay, picture it, right? This is like in the middle of the day.
Yes,
It's
broad daylight. Is that the
sh-
first time? That's the first time they've done that?
I think it's the first time they've done it. Like on
Randy.
on the street though.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it was
like in
front of
full
her house.
view.
Yeah, like if anybody, it was like in an estate. If
Anyone
anybody
had walked
seen it,
around,
and
yeah.
she's the sheriff. That's like kind of a big deal too.
I'm also surprised that like. Considering it was the sheriff, that the whole police department didn't just suddenly put like fucking Woodsboro into lockdown. Oh,
like they did
triggered.
They did that in Scream 4 though. That's the only.
But that's
reason
what I
City
mean.
was
It's
still
like
there. They were like, "You're so smart though.
Yeah,
You gotta stay here."
So like I was looking at that, going like, "Hold on," like, and then because like when white girls calling the police and they just show up so quickly. When Judy called in, like that was halfway down the road.
Yeah.
Then she swirls back around and tells all units to think. So like by the time she should have gotten there, I would have expected to at least hear one siren. But no. And also don't forget, the police department still didn't show up because he got out of the shower, got dressed and everything, down to the stairs, put out food and went to the front door.
Now,
and the police department still didn't show up.
Now
that woman is literally dead.
You actually don't get to speak
front.
like that because you left. Nathan got up and went to the bathroom. You missed the whole scene.
I missed the part afterwards.
You missed them showing up. They show up at the house.
No, but what I mean is, like, she had made that the sheriff made the call when she was on the phone to your man.
It's a movie.
But, like, do you know what I mean? Like, surely one squad, or at least we would have heard at least one siren. Come on, at least admit that.
No,
by the time he got to that door after setting up the entire plate on the table, all that shit, including sauces and chopsticks, I might add, you would have heard at least one siren. That was the sheriff saying, all available units come to my house because my son's in danger.
Okay.
Like, you would have at least heard
Why are
one.
you so on this point?
No, but it's just something that I was like, that just didn't make sense to me. Like, I would have heard at least one siren. Do you know what I mean?
Right after he.
I know they do, but like it took, like he got out of the shower,
like 5
got
minutes.
Dressed. Nah, that was a good
like
15, 20 minutes, man.
Not in real time, not in the movie.
Like, no, right, fair enough.
Yeah, we can't just okay. If we're gonna start judging movies by realistic expectations, then fucking why even make movies? That's just a documentary.
Well, I mean, like, what's her name did? She didn't even. She just dialed. Did she dial 911 in the beginning? Or was it just one of those messages things where she typed it on the computer?
I think so, but also like her house alarm was like going off and stuff like that because the house had gotten broken into. And then we got a really good question where it's like, yeah, but like, do you think I like managed to make it inside the house before you rearmed it again?
Oh yeah,
you know, because it runs from the front door. Actually, that's one thing that I thought was really intense. That kind of
the question as to whether they were inside already.
No, it was depending on the door. That always really freaks me out in movies when somebody's just banging on a door to try and get in.
Oh, that kind of like intense banging, yeah.
Because I was like, he's gonna get in, like regardless, you know. But like, yeah, this fucking scene, she finally gets up to the door, you know, and it really does kind of come out of nowhere. I actually didn't expect it that way. Ghostface just steps out, and to see this, like, just picture it like a really, really like looks like a postcard.
This is
like,
white people's suburbia. Imagine that.
I mean, it's Woodsboro, you know, but it's like everything is pastel and white and beautiful, and then there's just like this like specter just steps out. They really kind of have
from off screen,
kind of Grim Reaper-ish.
From off screen,
and just gets her in the gut, and I was like, oh, she'll survive. It's fine, because I didn't expect these two to be taking out so quickly and so abruptly. And then he just goes to town on her.
Yeah,
in public. Who
do you think that was? Do you think it was the Manson girl, or do you think
I'm trying
it was
to place everybody together.
Richie?
I think it was Manson girl, because Richie would have been with Sabrina, with Tara and
the other
and
kids
Sam.
when they were makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, we haven't even talked about Sam Carpenter yet, who was supposed to be like kind of our new Sydney, but like not really. To me, I was kind of like,
she ain't my Sydney.
No, she's not my Sydney. I also kind of could have not done with less of her, but like I don't know, I could have taken her, leaving her, or left her.
Yeah, I think to be fair, if anyone was driving the plot along, it wasn't her.
No.
Like, she was sort of just... This is one of those characters that I have... Oh, you see, there's me discovering more things that I was looking at. So, like, she is a character that doesn't drive the story. The story is driving her.
She's
she's led around.
they
Oh,
called
that's
it out.
exactly, that was called out. Yeah.
Yeah, they called
So
it out.
the story is
Because they don't
leading
explain
her
that.
around.
That's actually the one rule they don't explain.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't want to know.
Yeah. So like this is like the placid character that's just like the plot devices are driving her along rather than her driving the plot device along.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is one of my biggest like annoyances and thing, because then the character doesn't fully grow.
No.
As I'm sure, and this is why I think that scene with Sydney and Gail in the hospital
they're like,
happens.
"Fine, whatever."
Yeah, like
Yeah.
fuck you, whatever, I don't need you, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
And I was like,
did
yeah,
that.
but very basically, if Dewey hadn't have been there, you probably would have died.
I was going to say, and she even says that, kind of, she says to Gail, where it's like...
Because Richie could have very easily turned on you. Very easily. In that
which
one
to
scene.
me kind of, it makes me think of like, well, why wouldn't you just do it?
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
It's
I
just,
don't know,
yeah.
because, I suppose, though, it's all kind of like create a thing.
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
but I
even-
suppose we're dissecting it a little too harshly.
Yeah, but also, yeah, I suppose like I just kind of want to judge the movie like by its own kind of universe rules. It's like they're doing this for again kind of a fame, kind of they want like a new movie. Their main complaint is that the last couple of Stab movies have
We're
been
shit. Yeah. What are they on Stab 8 or something?
Like the first 3 are good, and
Yeah.
the rest are shit.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that's the most interesting. Even because they said something about the fandom being toxic or something.
Yeah.
You and I both looked at each other. And were like, yes, here's the good.
It's
like
what I wanted.
I think so. It's like this is the evolution from life, then art imitating life, then life imitating art, imitating life, and then you have this, which is
we have
which
Scream
is the
4,
fandom.
but like again, we don't talk about 4.
Yeah, we
really.
don't talk about her. So
Just watching that again the other day, I was like, this one is just the least screamy.
yeah.
You
Would
know?
you scream?
For Scream 4?
Yeah.
No.
Would you shriek well though?
No.
So yeah, when it comes to these characters and should I say the newer generation of like the characters, I should say, excluding the top 3, I do think I think you even wrote other things. Most of them are sort of forgettable. Based off of just the fact that they do also sort of fulfill the archetypes, meaning the jock, you have the nerd, you have the smart person.
But we
you have
didn't
the,
have that in
you know,
like in the first, like because there's a jock, but like it's weird. Everybody kind of hangs out in this movie, whereas like you kind of get that like. Well, see, it's weird. I could never kind of get social standing on anybody from the original movie, but like there's a jock hanging out with like a film nerd, hanging out with. I don't know, fucking Dillon Minette, I guess. They keep like
The
referencing
sheriff's
him that
son.
he's like a bitch or whatever like that because he like has a taser and pepper spray and stuff. you
But
know?
that's badass to me.
Yeah, like makes sense. It also didn't help him at all.
No, it didn't. Actually, no, he did grab for it though. We never fucking talked.
So his
death.
He
Let's
just
get
gets
to
like
it.
this to me was a reference to Zombie 2 or just Zombie. The kind of I think it's Mario Bava. It's an Italian horror movie, like a zombie movie from the 70s, where a woman gets pulled towards like a piece of like a piece of splintered
pushed
wood
into it.
and just pulled
Yes.
towards it, like into the eye.
Yeah.
Because this was slow. He gets kind of tossed around a little bit and then just gets like pinned up against the door. But the knife goes up through the front of the neck and then just kind of goes through slow and comes out
Sideways.
like not even on the other side, just like kind of like safety pinning the neck with a knife.
Yeah.
It was so crazy, but it was like, this is intimate. This is like sexual.
Yeah,
Because
it does, 'cause
Ghostface
they
was,
were, like-
right up in his face.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh shit. This is
I
like,
did appreciate. I don't know if you noticed it. So as he was going for the door, you know the way he like pushes up against it and locks it or whatever.
Yeah.
In the window, you know the kind of small windows by the doors, you can actually see Ghostface approaching. But obviously not clear that it's him. But you can see someone moving towards him, and I didn't know whether it was the cameraman fucking up.
Yeah.
Or was they? But by the end, obviously, I mean, it was obviously Ghostface. And I did appreciate that he did, the first thing he did was obviously try to stop the knife, but he immediately reached for, I think it was the taser or something that he'd left there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's perfect. You know, he might be able to put up a, you know, a jiggle for it, and then...
A jiggle.
Yeah. And then go for the front door and then discover his mother or whatever, but like he didn't, and they never found it. I was like, fuck. And can you imagine them just getting to the gates of St. Peter and just being like, fuck, you got you too? God damn it. Is that what you were ringing me for?
Yeah.
But it was really, it was that kind of slow, painful death where you can feel it in your teeth. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're just like, oh, because like it's not a knife cut, it's not a slash. It's like dig in, and like it's one of those struggles where it's like, like pushed back then to the side, and then it just comes out the other, and he's just coughing up blood.
Trauma in this movie.
Yeah, there is actually like, quite a bit.
I think the kind of the actual first kill post. Well, actually, yeah, it's the first kill. The opening was just an attack with Vince, who like to me was just like, so we kind of knew somebody was going to be related to Billy and or Stu in this movie, and everybody kind of just assumed it was him. Just because of like how he was styled and kind of how he was shown in the trailer, and because he like has kind of, I guess, like a passing resemblance to Skeet Ulrich, kind of, but and just the way that they like show him in this movie, because instantly he's like kind of dickhead. He's like a bad kid, wrong side of the tracks kind of shit, you know. But they're like the whole gang meets up in a bar and he's there, which he just like weirdly is like, oh, like, come on, let's go to...
He's stalking them.
What's her name?
To the one with the coloured hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They, like, had sex last year or whatever like that. And he's stalking them around.
He's obsessed with her, basically.
Yeah. I suppose, and we also have to kind of, like, assume all this. He, like, I don't even think he has more than, like, 5 lines. He's,
like, I think I said it to you earlier, he's in it for, like, less than maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
At most. And, like, he has very little dialogue. He's purely there just as a red herring and an antagonist
and this
to
kill
the
was
group.
In the trailers
kind of like a bully, if I would say so. But yeah, his death was very sudden.
Yeah.
And he's just
dead, I grabbed you at one point because I was expecting him to be a full-on character in the movie. I really was. And his death kind of was shown a lot in the trailers. There was actually a lot cut out in the final product because we get like a lot of silhouette show off of Ghostface in the trailer. Yeah. So he's like outside the bar. They all get kicked out because he pulls out a switchblade, which again was kind of like a. But that's a little obvious. Yeah. But he goes outside and he's alone, and then we get like his car lights turn on. He's like taking a piss up against the bar. He's like, "Fuck this bar!"
Just, like, a fairly obvious fake wall. Can I just say?
What do you mean a fake wall?
The brick. Did you not look at that brick? I couldn't take my eyes off it. I was like, "That is the cleanest fucking alleyway brick wall that I've ever fucking seen."
Oh, it's like on the back wall.
It's a studio wall, and I was like, "Come on."
But we get like the
was there no budget this year?
The lights
only 8 queens. Was there no budget this year?
So the lights like turn on or whatever, and we got like he like goes.
It's very Carrie.
They're playing Rebel
not Carrie. What's the one with the red car? Stephen King movie. Christine. Yeah. It was cut with a C.
Carrie. He goes up, turns it off, whatever like that, and then Ghostface appears. But we got a lot more attack scene in the trailer of this. He's in the trailers more than he's in the actual movie. No joke. We're supposed to get this shot because when they show the area, I was like, "Oh shit, this is this scene." Yeah. And I was like, "Fuck, he's gonna die already." Mm-hmm. But it's good though. We got like a nice like blade wipe. Like on the glove and stuff.
You get that. Yeah. But also, like, his death, again, it's a neck trauma. It was sort of like one of those, it wasn't like a neck slice or anything like that. It was purely like, he got the knife and went...
At an angle.
Yeah.
Just kind of
and
poked it right into the side.
Yeah. It was like, you just kind of like prick your finger kind of thing. It was basically just like, pop, and then out again.
Of Jack the Ripper vibes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like almost surgical, where I'm like, because he kind of always gets it like... right at this angle, you know, or I'm like, it just goes straight for the jugular. Yeah.
So, the other thing I wanted to talk about is like as in memorable scenes that kind of like kind of thing. So one of these choices was obviously to make Samantha. We discovered it very, very early on. She's taking psychotics. Antipsychotics. Sorry.
This bitch is crazy.
Basically because, for whatever reason, but we basically find out that she's plagued by schizophrenic visions of
Billy fucking Loomis.
Of Billy Loomis,
But Billy Loomis
in the flesh.
Billy Loomis in the finale of Scream. Because he's
as
dressed...
aged.
Oh, yeah.
It just... it didn't work that much this time. I feel like they
almost should have made it more spectral or ghostly because it's a vision in her head. Mm-hmm. But they have him dressed with the split and everything. Yeah, also, Skeet Ulrich has very definitely gotten veneers since Scream came out, and you can tell. But they also only used this kind of conceit like 3 times.
This was
for,
a
like,
choice.
2 seconds.
This was a choice.
I don't think like... Well, see, we've gotten that before though. Like we've gotten Sydney having kind of like nightmares.
His mother
visions
or her
stuff,
mother,
you know?
yeah.
So like it didn't seem too out of the loop for me. If they kept it going, I would have been pissed. Because it's almost Candyman, because he like gives her advice.
The one thing I really was hoping for, or hoping not to see, was like her. I think I even said this to you halfway through, because I was like, please don't tell me they're going to turn her into it was her the whole time, she just didn't know it.
Yeah, that would piss me
type
off.
thing. It would just have pissed me off so much. It would have totally ruined it. And like Billy is just standing over her saying like, kill her for me, or some shit like that. I just imagined that in my head, and I was already ready to like cross my arms and be like, fuck this movie. But they did do it all right,
because I thought that's where they were going to go. I thought the mystery was going to be who was the child, because I just went in assuming somebody was like Billy was going to be somebody's dad or somebody's whatever.
No, I didn't know this at all.
But see, I just thought it kind of see, it's obvious, but they also throw it out so early in the movie that I don't think they were trying to surprise anybody with it.
Yeah.
But the thing I want to know is...
Well, because it's the plot line.
Yeah.
Because they want to get... because they already know that this... Yeah.
But the thing is, they talk about the mother a lot. And I want to know who the fuck the mother was. Because the mother has to be somebody who was in school with Sydney at the time. Mm-hmm. And Billy and all that kind of stuff. It was
a blue ball moment, to be fair.
I think they're going to reveal that at some point. I think they're going to have to. You know?
I suppose.
Talked too much for it to... Like, it wasn't just Mom was out of town. It was... Like, there was, like speeches and dialogue. Like, kind of solely devoted to this girl. And there's, like, a huge amount of... like kind of family drama actually between these 2 sisters. I actually think I just forgot to say that Sam and Tara are sisters. That's why Sam is back in town. She gets a call from Dillon
because Tara is attacked. Yeah.
And
I love this dynamic. I love this kind of
shit,
like
you know?
it's really good. But also like this was another thing I think I even said to you before, was the fact that when Sam shows up in the hospital wing where Tara is like recovering or whatever, and all her friends are there, Tara is giving her daggers throughout the scene. There are several cuts to her eyes, like just giving Samantha daggers. Yeah. And this was like, to me again, like it was another one of those things where it's like, oh, is this the way we're going with it? Is she actually a killer?
So many just blatant accusations out in this movie, which I love. Everybody is basically just like, well, are you the killer? I think it's you. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's no qualms about anything. I think it was Randy was the only one that was really kind of like throwing out straight accusations. Yeah. And I don't know that like.
But you know what?
I won't be investing. I'm out.
I am not interested in that plot because I did think that it went to a good place and then it never went anywhere. That was the one thing that I had a problem with. That was how quickly the tables that now that we thought there were turntables, we thought they were unturntables on top of those turntables. But it was sort of a plot line that sort of didn't go anywhere.
Yes, the fuck it did. The entire movie is about trying to accuse people and find out who is the killer.
No. I'm talking about the whole being descendants of Billy.
Oh yeah, like, no, they really don't use it. It just
they don't use it.
Happened to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I thought if that was the, because I really thought, like I was going to say a minute ago, that I thought the entire movie was going to be they find out that Billy had a child and then they spend the movie looking for Billy's child because they think it's the killer. But I'm glad it wasn't that.
Yeah,
like,
was really even funny. I'm sorry, like that was a very silent, like ugh face.
Oh yeah, you like visibly
fully
cringed.
Yeah,
but
it was like that's a very 90s. Like plot line.
It is. It's so
B
done.
movie plot line.
It's so classic. Yeah, like kind of done at this point, but they really don't. They really don't.
Well, speaking of the opposites of Billy, there's no Stu. Ain't no stew up in this bitch.
Very intentionally. There's times where they keep saying that, like, this guy Billy went crazy and killed all his friends or whatever, and it's like, and Stu.
And Stu, yeah.
Is like,
but wait, there's more!
No, it really, really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what the fuck? The entire... And, like, everybody knows there's two killers.
Yeah.
They keep saying that it was Billy and his accomplice.
Because it's explicitly even said as one of the questions from the killer at the beginning. It's like, so who was the original killer of Stab 1? And they said Billy. And
Billy,
then she's like,
no,
corrected. That's the wrong answer.
Yeah,
there's more.
She gets corrected. And then we do get, like, what's his fucking name again? Vince. He is...
Who is the cousin? No,
cousin,
nephew or something?
Cousin.
Yeah.
Of
Stu.
Of Stu, yeah. It's Stu's mom's sister's son.
Yeah.
His best friend's niece is neighbor.
Twice removed dog.
But again, I'm glad they didn't, like, go too far into that. But I really thought that there was going to be more of Stu, you know?
But Stu's house, though.
Stu's house, best set piece in the movie.
Is it human chair of the week?
I don't even know what the fucking sound is. Go ahead. Go ahead. Gonna put a whole house in my eyes, baby. But we spent a lot of time in the hospital in this movie.
We do. This set piece is very much used as again, like I'm a firm believer that if there's nothing sort of involving the scene where the plot is pushed further, it shouldn't be there.
Well, I'm a self-denier that should be true.
So, like, I am a full believer that, like, if it doesn't add to it, it shouldn't be there. And there's parts of this hospital thing that were just a little too pushed that didn't help. Okay, so the first thing was the killer ringing again. Like, this is that sort of plot line where is it in her head or is it not? Samantha, when she's getting rung by the killer and the killer attacks her in, I think it's the hospital kitchen, I think, or, you know, like the staff, the break room, and like when they go in there, or whoever that other sheriff person is, policeman goes in there, there's no one there, and blah blah. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
He's Human Chair of the Week, played by Chester Tam. They actually don't give him a name. It's just like Mr. Police Officer. This man is so pretty. It's that guy right there.
Yes, him.
Yeah.
So like when they like, again, it was one of those scenes where, like, they could have cut that out and it still would have been like, it didn't make a difference to the scene or the plot.
No, I think that's bullshit. I mean, you have to have stuff like that in a horror movie. You know,
I don't know, but the only thing, exactly, it's filler.
It's why you got attacked in the bathroom.
I suppose, yeah, you know, I guess.
Which is arguably one of the most iconic parts of that movie is the bathroom.
And I don't see you out there walking children in nature.
I don't see them out here walking children in nature, telling them how to further the plot.
I thought it was cool, though. Also, though, I didn't know whether or not Sam was really, really going to be the actual main character. I thought she was dead for sure in a couple of scenes. I thought they were really going to kill her off. Well,
speaking of which, actually, come to think of it, when we were talking about the opening goal, that was one thing I was at. Who did you say was seen on set with covered in blood?
Oh my god, Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez.
I honestly think they were like... but look, I mean, who the fuck was Jada Pinkett Smith and stuff at the time? Really?
Jada Pinkett, yeah, fair enough.
You know, I suppose, well, Drew Barrymore too. I suppose Drew Barrymore was like the biggest star in the movie at the time. Mm-hmm. Like, she was the poster, like, it was a big misdirect. But you know, it's always fun to see somebody like that, you know. I think that's why they kill off the most famous person. Like, at the jump. It's like fun.
Well, yeah, but like there was nothing there. Like, did they actually have film scenes with her, or was it just there as a misdirect? Well, because like it's an interesting misdirect, and I think that would have been like, even just to have famous people on set to be like, oh, will they be in the film or will they not be? It is very interesting. But yeah.
I will find these pictures. There's pictures of her in a very Drew Barrymore-ish outfit, covered in blood, kind of like on a set somewhere.
Yeah.
Whatever, I'll get it on the Insta.
The other thing I was looking at was the scene between Amber, which I call the Manson girl, and Randy's niece. I can't remember her name. The one bitch with the curly hair. She basically, the two of them knowing what's up and we didn't know what was going on. So, like, knowing now what we didn't know then, that scene was sort of Mindy. There you go.
Sorry.
I knew that all along. Don't you tell me I'm not.
It was a joke. We were just joking.
I was just testing you. So, like, this scene to me was also one of those things that really did stand out. Because, first of all, when they said basement, my first thought was, I don't know why I thought it, that she was going to go to the garage where Tatum died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
like,
I was like, oh, is this
basement
going
in
to
this
be a
house?
real, like, how'd you call it?
We thought so, though, because she steps out and we get the tit shot for Tatum.
Yeah.
It's the exact same shot. You know?
Right?
No nipples, though.
So, like, it was just, first of all, it was a misdirect for me, because I was like, oh, that would be so cool. Like, is someone going to die in a different way that Tatum died in the original? I was like, is there going to be a callback to that?
Yeah.
But no, we get basically, Mindy surprises her again from behind a fucking fridge door. I'm so sick of that trope. That they use it several times in this film.
Being hidden behind things?
No, behind it, you know, opening, covering half the camera and then reclosing it, and then, you know.
Yeah.
So, like, they have the conversation about, like, but what if you go down alone? And if you're not alone? But would you need me going down there?
Oh, see,
what
I
if you're
love
the
that,
killer?
like,
And then she goes, but I am.
I love that Amber flips it on Mindy, though, where she's like, oh, you came down here alone, nobody's here. And then she's like, well, like, on the other hand, you followed me down here alone into a dark basement.
Yeah.
I'm the killer. We actually got a couple of people just kind of like outrightly saying, like, I'm the killer.
Yeah.
I be the witch of the wood.
Mm-hmm.
It's very I be the witch of the Woodsboro.
Oh my god, stop. You better stop.
I do love that, though. I think this is the movie that has the most intentional misdirects and most intentional red herrings.
This is actually, no, I could actually call it back to when Mindy was first talking about, like, how there would be more murders.
Yeah.
It was Amber who actually turned around and said to her, how do you know there's going to be more murders? Huh?
Oh, well, see.
So there was another misdirect,
like,
and I thought that was so
hadn't been
interesting.
murdered yet.
Yeah.
Because she's like, well, she could still die.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I looked at, or it's like,
very
there was a couple of times where somebody would go off and do something, and she's like, he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, just by the rules, they're dead.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They actually did, though.
Mm-hmm.
They do time. But they also are the killer.
Mm-hmm. So, when it comes to, like, do we want to talk? I suppose we did sort of just talk about it.
Okay, I was going to say, let's get into spoilers, like heavy spoilers now. So,
right, the Manson bitch is a killer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then Richie is the killer.
That's
We told them at the beginning.
So out of context.
Well, we told them at the
Okay.
beginning.
Well, you want to get into some depth?
Okay, so the first thing actually we should talk about, so let's, quote unquote, you wanted to call them attacks. I just wanted to say kills.
Yeah, attacks, but no, because if we just talked about kills, there'd only be like 3 things to talk about. Versus if we talked about attack scenes.
Well.
You know, it's attacks.
You stood for me!
So these are just attacks, successful and non-successful, because there was more unsuccessful than not, which I thought was kind of annoying. I thought they should have at least killed the nephew, because I thought he was dead for sure. I thought that the niece was going to live, but I thought the nephew was done for.
Oh yeah, he just has that archetype, you know, unfortunately. Like, you know, like, I'm going to go there, but we'll go there.
So basically, Tara gets moved to like a private floor, which I don't
This
think
is something
we
you
both,
and I pointed out,
I was going to say, I don't think we both realized it at the start, because she's there and then all the lights turn off, and we were like, I was kind of thinking in my head, and I assume you were too, where it was like, where the fuck is everybody else on this floor?
Yeah.
And then, we kind of realized that she was
she's on a private floor, yeah.
And,
fucking rich white people.
She is very definitely brown.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
More blatantly obvious in her sister, though, than I would say her.
I don't fucking think so. This is, how do you say scream in Spanish?
I was going to say Hindi, because she does look
Her second name is Ortega.
Oh, is it? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, of course, yeah. Right, fine.
And Melissa
Scream
Barrera.
In Spanish?
Yeah, how do you say scream in Spanish? Because that's what this movie
God.
is. This is the most racially diverse
cast.
because it's been called out several times that it's like, oh, it's only kind of white people around here in all of the movies.
Grito.
Well, there you go. But the fuck? Oh, the hospital scene. So I actually really like this set piece. I think this is where we get kind of my favorite images of Ghostface from this movie. And
Yeah.
this is going to sound weird because it's like the first Scream movie is my favorite movie, but it's hard to find like iconic like stills of Ghostface from that movie because a lot of it is so in motion. There's not a lot of good like kind of poses of Ghostface. But this, I was like, oh, we're getting like close-ups of the mask. We're getting like close-ups of the like the voice changer, and we're getting like long like drawn out scenes with Ghostface just kind of creeping up to somebody or walking up to somebody. I'm like, we're getting to see them in action a lot.
Yeah.
And
while talking over the phone, which is something you actually never see.
Yeah.
In like most things. Most of the time it's just the killer revealing that they have the voice changer. But like literally you see him turn on the voice changer and dial accept the call, and he's talking to her real time, which I love.
You said you thought it was like a thing, like a hello Ned, like
no, but see, like this
is
no, because it was like one of
box.
those a voice box, because I was like, maybe because when I seen that I didn't realize that it was the voice changer thing. Immediately I was like, maybe it is Stu. Do you know what I mean?
That's been a theory that's been going on for a very, very long time. And even Matthew Lillard himself is like, oh yeah, come on, like let's get me back in the movie or whatever, which I'm sure he would love, but you're dead. You're dead.
You're dead, honey. You're most definitely dead.
No, that's one rumor that just like never had any credence, because I'm like, no, he's dead. Like he died. You know what I mean? Not like and like died on screen, kind of explicitly, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But this scene,
the hospital scene, is probably the iconic part of this film, to be fair.
I think it's the part that people are going to be like, oh, like in a good
way,
painful way.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got kind of like a kind of good like bit of suspense, because she's fucked up. Tara is fucked up. She is a cripple. And doesn't get uncrippled throughout this whole movie.
Yeah, she's just like fucked up. Yeah.
She like gets in this wheelchair, and we can like her like wounds and shit are opening.
Oh, her hand. Yeah. Every time she tried to turn the wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so harsh.
She's got this like huge boot on, and I even laughed. Her phone rings, but it's back at the other side of the room.
She's
it's
like, oh yeah, you turned to me.
I'm over here now. But I'm already out the door, and she actually doesn't pick up.
She doesn't. Yeah. She just leaves. She thought she saw her sister and she was like,
fuck my drink, right? And so then the boyfriend, Richie, who we actually haven't really talked about much in this movie, who I liked him as like an addition, because he was kind of comic relief without being too much. This is the kind of Richie I want to see in a movie. It Chapter 2. Just saying.
Did you or did you not come for me?
Beep beep Richie is all I'm saying. Beep, beep. But
I want to keep all of my blood in my body, please.
I loved that. I laughed like out loud at some of his lines. And this is an actor who I'm familiar with from The Boys.
Yes, he is in The Boys. Yeah,
he's like
I knew I'd seen him somewhere before.
The main kind of just regular human guy in that. Who I actually don't like that show. I can't get into it. But he shows up. And I actually didn't suspect him. I thought it kind of would make total sense for him to be there. But then, kind of thinking in retrospect, I'm like, but where were you anyway? If you weren't with the girlfriend that you came with to go see the sister. But he gets attacked. Quote unquote attacked.
Hit over the head. And then he gets... This is, again, I actually have this as a note, him as a red herring, where he gets his arm slashed. Because we have seen that 3 times before in the previous movies. We have seen it, i.e. Jill, Derek, and oh god,
go ahead, name it off. Go ahead.
Was it Billy? Billy also gets it on his arm as well.
No, Billy gets stabbed. Quote unquote.
No. Billy first comes across. He does get sliced across the arm because he does run into the house, doesn't he? Or who is it the thing? Maybe it's not Billy.
Billy gets stabbed across the chest, like in the chest a bunch of times. Corn syrup. The same thing they use for pig's blood and curry.
Yeah.
And then falls in his... Now that is what told me that he was the killer, confirmed. The way he fell down those stairs at the end. The boyfriend. Richie.
Yeah.
That to me was confirmed. Like, okay, it's him. Before he even like pulled it out.
He side jobbed her. Yeah.
Because it's so iconic. It's such a... It's so known.
So let's talk about it. The top 3. So when it comes to this is obviously like the first... not major thing, but like it is the major thing.
It's a switch up.
It's a huge switch up.
So the end of this scene in the hospital,
The confrontation, yeah.
oh god, Dewey is like, I'm gonna go back and shoot them in the head, because it's weird. This was a shot where I really thought they were going to reveal killer mid movie.
Yeah.
And I thought there was going to be one killer revealed,
or 3,
and then they were going to like give up and be like, okay, good, we got it.
Yeah.
You know, and then another one was still going to be around. So the killer mid attack just gets shot to bits in the chest and is like out cold, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. That usually doesn't happen like mid movie at all. And then they're about to leave, and Dewey's like, I'm going to go back and double tap, like shoot him in the head, because, you know, Sidney like told him to do that in the third movie.
Yep.
Oh my god, Dewey dies.
Dewey is
It was so
he
tragic.
is stuck like a pig.
Yeah,
Oh,
lucky.
like a pig. He is gored
Skewered.
on both sides, front and back.
Yeah, and then when it gets
First
to the
time
back,
the
it's
killer
slapped in
has
the back.
2 knives.
2 knives. I noticed
Did
that
you-
too.
Yes.
One in the Darth Maul, you know. And,
What in the Darth Maul of this situation?
yeah. Oh no, it was crazy. I was like, 2 fucking knives. I don't know why that was such a big
Yeah.
moment, but I was like, fuck, what do you do?
Yeah, man.
But stabbed in the back, not just stabbed in the front, stabbed in the back in the same place again, because you can
Yeah.
see Dewey kind of like, and and then stabbed in the back, and then the blade is like dragged upwards, so he's like cut
both
open.
sides.
Yeah.
Both sides,
Cut
bro.
open. What
The
is it?
man
That's how you
is
gut
dead
someone.
before he hits the floor.
It's like, that's how you got someone, cut him from groin to sternum. You know, fucking hell.
Billy the Butcher taught us well.
And Dewey is, yeah,
He
Dewey
is
is dead.
More dead than dead could possibly be. That mustache is not growing any bigger.
I cried. I really did cry.
It was, but also like
Legacy
we both
character.
knew though. I think even you said it. You had called
have
it as
to
soon
kill
as
somebody.
he. No. Just like as soon as when they got to the
I'll go back and do
elevator,
it.
you knew immediately he was dead.
Yeah.
Like he might as well have just put on that poster a big red X over his
Dewey
face.
dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dewey
They
die.
have to
Are you
die.
Dewey die? It's time to Dewey die.
And they call it out in this movie where it's like, somebody from the original trilogy has to fucking die. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus. And now
But
I
you said
saw-
like because once one of the big 3 die. Once one of them die, as if they have to.
Yeah.
But it switches up, meaning that nobody is safe.
yeah, I
Because
didn't think...
all bets are off.
See, it's weird, because at this point, it's like, Sydney, dude, like, just... Why even get involved?
Yeah.
Because in this one, she comes back because Dewey is killed, which I kind of get. And Gail also comes back. I can't believe you
They
missed
are-
Gail's thing. You left as soon as she popped on screen. Red suit.
I needed to
everything.
pee. Sorry, I pissed like a racehorse.
Red suit and everything. Her and Dewey have their little like moment. You know, it's real sad. But then I was like, this is weird. And because there's a moment earlier where Dewey goes to type like, "I still love you," but then I'm like, they're divorced in real life. That's really awkward. That like they're
Yeah.
divorced and both with people
Yeah.
at the moment. You know, that's really awkward.
Yeah.
But also, what does Gail do that make people hate her so fiercely? Every time they start in a movie, they're like, Gail's a fucking cunt, even though she saved my life 4 times. Fucking hell, bro.
Yeah. It's like time has passed and suddenly they've forgotten about the previous movies. That
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, we just immediately don't like you anymore. That's how this works.
We also don't talk to each other at all, because every time a new movie happens, it's like, Dewey, what the fuck?
But you know what she is?
Oh.
She is... That's what she is.
Oh, they really are though. There's a couple of moments at the end of this, like I said at the start, where I stamped my feet and shouted, "Yes, bitch!" Because once we get to like final showdown, should we kind of get there? Because next
Well,
kind of set pieces.
well, I just want to talk some real quick about this one. This is something I even turned to you about. Is the scene where Sydney finally, because I think. Obviously, I mean, I missed obviously that because I had to piss like a racehorse. But the fact that to completely patch things up, it never fully happened, and the fact that Dewey dies away from Gail, because like remember when we were watching, was it Scream 3? 2?
Wait,
No,
what
2,
happened?
where Dewey
In the
is
soundproof?
apparently killed off in the soundproof room, and
Yeah.
she is gutted, she's bawling,
Yeah.
everything. She's literally sitting down in a corner, like practically rocking back and forth. And then in this film, like it just makes it all the worse because it wasn't fully said between the two of them.
Yeah.
And and there was no dialogue. It's just the music over, and it's slow motion that like they're literally holding her back from going over and like just like bawling her eyes out over his corpse.
Because they're not divorced. They're just
Separated.
Yeah. She still kind of identifies herself as Gail Riley, which is
so cute and so upsetting.
She's like
so upsetting.
A new, like, she's got another show. It's like Good
She's got a
Morning with Gail Weather.
Morning, bitches.
And she talks about never having bangs again. I love
that's
that.
great.
That's so funny. Also, we get a possible confirmation. I'm going to have to double confirm this confirmation that Kirby might still be alive. Apparently, we get to see kind of like a little screen grab of.
She awesome.
We're supposed to get like a little screen grab of Kirby, like an interview with Kirby, which I thought was so cool.
Oh my god, we might as well talk about it. It's on a YouTube thing. Will we talk about it? Our rivals.
Oh my god! This is actually like when you came back, right? Dewey is watching.
I seen you. Can I just say this?
I was like,
I seen you. I was like, look at it! Look at the screen! They're on the screen!
Oh my god! So Dewey is watching a little clip of people talking about.
You were jumping out of your seat, swinging your arm back and forth, pointing at the screen.
So James and Chelsea from Dead Meat are like in this movie, like as themselves. I'm so happy for them. That's like. I've never been like so simultaneously like so jealous and so happy for people. Fuck me, bro. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
But also, again, this is like I'm seeing
what was it?
Big of a switch.
Bad film reviews or something.
Film
fail.
Or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But it's Chelsea basically being like, why the fuck wouldn't they just call it Stab 8? Why is it called Stab? They comment on it again. But like, fuck, I was so happy for them. I think that's like literally the coolest thing ever. But I love to see, I was saying to you, the difference between horror, the difference between the first Scream and Scream 4. Horror really didn't change that much because everybody had kind of been trying to play catch up. But the difference between horror now from Scream 4 till now is huge. Like, we have things like Dead Meat, and horror is so much more accessible, and everybody kind of loves it a little bit more now. It's not weird to like horror anymore. Well, you know? But fuck, I was like, that's the coolest shit ever. Yeah. That really is so cool. You know? It's
really, really awesome.
And it's really meta. It's so fucking
It is.
meta.
Yeah, it's really great. I'm just imagining the episode, the kill count that will show up with this on it, and I can only imagine what he's going to say. It's going to be
so
fun.
Like, excited.
Yeah.
I think that's like the dream.
Yeah.
Like, really. And they got to play themselves. It wasn't just like a little cameo. Like, they just got to do what they do.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to be in the next. I know what you did last summer. You know, it's almost there, but not quite.
It's getting there. We'll you know, give us 2 years. Give us two. Give us 2. That's what I want.
James and Chelsea, if you ever happen to hear this, proud of you guys.
We are very proud. We're so proud.
But they're in the cast list, like, because you went to the fucking bathroom at the end, so I was like packing up all my shit.
Yeah.
And looking at it, seeing like James A. Janice and Chelsea Rebecca on the screen, I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but also just recognizing fan culture in this movie, like seeing that like that is out there, and like it's still relatively new.
Yeah.
To kind of have a channel like Dead Meat or like They're Here, you know. So I thought that was kind of ahead of the curve also. Like having this movie not be Wes Craven, it's weird because Wes Craven, like, I feel like his oeuvre and library and stuff like that is very much so like what we grew up with, like, and kind of excluding what's like now. I think what are they fucking called again? Radio Silence.
Yeah.
Like, they like managed to keep this movie very, very current. Yeah. But also very referential. Agree.
Yeah.
You know.
The other thing, just before we move on to Gail and all that, this Samantha, just the scene where Sydney shows up to console Gail. Yeah. I even turned to you. I was like, this bit, because it kept cutting back to like Sam standing there. Yeah. Like it was kind of that one was like, should I or shouldn't I or don't
come over here.
Like me and you were just standing on the other side of the room like, don't you fucking stay over there and do not fucking move. Go to your sister. Go to your sister.
It was such a nice little reunion though, you know. But
there was no music. There was no music during that scene. Yeah.
But there's a weird line where she's like, I should have stopped him. Gail was like, I should have stopped Dewey from coming out. And then she's like, well, you know, if your husband hadn't have died, my sister would have died. Basically.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like,
I caught that. You caught that, didn't you?
So, here it is. Finale. Ending. Party.
Which
Da,
is
da, da.
yeah. So
At Stu's house.
well,
Turner
actually,
Lane.
come to think of it, hold on. Let's just talk about Gail real quick, or not Gail, Sydney real quick. So there's a few things that we sort of. Okay, so she only. Let's be fair. The top three. It's more so Sydney. Sydney doesn't really show up until the latter half of the film, which we both knew about.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because the plot really doesn't involve her having
Directly.
to yeah, exactly. So she's only in it as sort of, I'm not going to say fan service because that's a disservice to her, but like she's there as
She's
a
Sarah
result
Connor in
of
this
what's
movie.
going on,
She
not
kicks
because of
ass.
what's going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's not a catalyst for the plot. She's only there because
Dewey died.
Dewey died. So she's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Sydney has
She's just so
3
inconvenient.
kids.
Oh
with
my God.
Mark the detective.
Yeah, with Kincaid from Scream 3, which had been kind of a big complaint, at least for me, for Scream 4, because like it was like very, very, very heavily implied that her and Kincaid end up together at the end, but like I kind of thought we were going to get to see him in this movie because I had
didn't.
seen. Well, see, it's because in the trailer we get to see her with the babies. We get to see her jogging, and she has a
With
stroller.
a baby.
Well, fucking whatever. We get to see her like with child, and I thought we were gonna get like some kind of something because immediately
Yeah.
people were like, "Who's the father of those babies?"
Uh-huh.
You know, because it had to be somebody. But yeah, it's Mark. Because they don't even call it out. They don't even say Kincaid. They just say, "Oh, something married to Mark."
Yeah.
And I was like, beep boop beep boop beep boop, doing
You know,
calculations in my head. Kincaid.
She is Sydney fucking Prescott. Of
She has
course
a gun.
she's got a gun. And that's even in the trailer, and I still think that's iconic. I like that.
Yeah, it's such a good. There is quite a few good lines in this movie. Like the
Yeah.
writing was really good. Still Kevin Williamson, by the way. So like it still feels very, very Scream. You know, like it doesn't feel like they tried to amp it up or switch it up too much.
Yeah. So,
Third act.
party scene. Welcome
Yes.
to the third act. So, the first thing I want to say is when they arrive, when he finally turns on the lights, he's like, everybody, hello,
Get out.
Gen Z. And here's me looking at going like, I know how that feels.
Lady Megan, if you're listening to this podcast, that's not how you treat guests. Not on Halloween night.
Calling you out.
Well, yeah, don't be a fucking asshole.
Don't be a fucking asshole. But yeah, he turned, it's like, goodbye, I'm saving your life.
Oh,
I'm
goodbye.
saving your life. Goodbye. Thank you for leaving your red cup here. I was just like, oh, this is just.
They just come in and
awkward.
turn on all the lights. And I
Oh.
remember kind of turning to Nathan but being like, why? Would
Yeah.
this not be way safer if there was like plenty of people here? But now knowing what we know,
Yeah.
it actually makes total fucking sense. I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty cool. But this scene, yeah, they really like kind of hit the mark. I was not disappointed by this ending.
Oh, absolutely. This is where it sort of goes from. Well, I wouldn't say blasé because I haven't actually found any of the kills up until this point blasé, but like it kicks it into a higher gear with like in regards to like the fight scenes, you know, kicking each other's ass, stabs,
Thought
all
that
of
main
that type of
characters,
thing.
thought more main characters would die. I thought Sydney
Yeah.
Argyle was Dunzo in this.
Yeah.
I really thought Sydney could have been killed in this. No
What's
joke.
his one of the male twin? I want to say I can't remember his name. Twin A. So
male
basic-
twin.
The male twin.
Chad.
Chad.
Oh, of course it's Chad.
Chad. Basically, he does that weird whatever tracking app for another person. It's basically like share your location thing. Yeah, exactly.
With his girlfriend though.
yeah.
He doesn't have sex with her. She's like, let's go upstairs, and he's like, no.
You
'cause
could be
might
the killer. Which,
I guess it's
in
true.
fairness.
She's like so pissed at this, so she just disappears.
Yes. She basically like fucks off God knows where because it's never explained. And he goes out, finds her phone. No, not her phone. Him, the murderer, I should
Yeah.
say. And he's stabbed to fuck. He gets it in the quad, on the inside of the quad.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna
he would have
say,
bled to death.
I didn't think that there was like a chance that he was still alive. I just took it for certain that he was dead. Because we saw him get like fucked up, you know.
He was stabbed, what, 6-7 times?
Yeah, he was stabbed a couple of times.
Heavy stabs.
I was gonna say,
not just like, it's like, fluh.
Yeah, I almost feel like I could tell which killer is which because of the kind of style.
Yeah.
I think Manson chick Amber was a little bit more like little jabs.
But
like,
also
kind of
I thought
dagger
every
thing.
time I saw the other hand come down onto the blade,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's the Manson chick, because she doesn't have obviously the physical strength of fucking Dewey or the
but we
boyfriend
got that
or
as
whatever.
well.
You know
It's
what
like,
I
I don't
mean?
think I've seen that in a movie before, where somebody is like holding the knife and then the killer.
Oh,
just,
like double-handing,
like,
pushing
punches
it,
the knife,
like fisting
like
it.
gave it like momentum.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so cool.
Yeah.
The kills in this were like really, really excellent.
Well, I mean, speaking of which, we were talking about the Manson girl. When Gail and Sydney arrive, they ain't buying her story.
They literally look at each other and they're like, trap.
Nah. Yeah, they literally look and say trap. I love it.
I was saying, like, it doesn't even.
They're not
seem
buying
like,
this
at
shit
point,
anymore.
it's just like Sydney's like, again.
This is shit. This is bullshit.
Yeah, I guess I like have a day or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Amber is just like, fuck this, and immediately whips out the gun.
Yeah.
And I
She
love
exposes
that.
herself. There isn't a mask reveal for her.
Yeah.
There's actually no mask reveal in this movie. We just get people killing, you know?
Yeah.
So she kills Liv, the chick that comes back, the male twin's girlfriend.
Welcome to the third act.
And that's the reveal, though. I thought it was kind of cool. It was kind of abrupt. I felt like it could have been her just because of who she played in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
But that's also, I think, a reason why she may have been hired for the role, because she
for
can.
sure. It's the
she
same
comes
fucking
across.
thing.
It's essentially the same
Black
character.
outfit, same thing.
Yeah.
Screaming. At the very end, when she comes out screaming at the
Mm-hmm.
end, that's like basically a shot from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But for me, I feel like it could possibly be a reference because of how she dies in this movie.
Yes.
It's very intentional.
Yeah,
It's very,
you
very
can
intentional.
see the dots being connected up for sure.
But I loved it.
Let's talk about how she fucks her up. Oh, sorry, we completely talked about danced around the point where we finally get the breaking of the fourth wall into the fifth wall. Where, oh my god, we are suddenly that we smoked a bit of weed before.
We're uncorporeal.
So we get essentially Stu's niece, Mindy. Randy's niece. She is watching essentially her uncle's actor
She's
playing the role, watching him, Jamie Lee Curtis,
She's watching a movie based on
real life,
real life, which is watching a movie that
is
is
essentially the same thing.
yes, and then in that scene, it's like obviously he's saying "Turn around, Jamie," because Jamie Lee Curtis, but also his name is Jamie, and then there's
Yeah.
a movie of that she's watching in this movie that we are also watching, and she obeys
She
her own
finally
rules.
breaks it, and she
actually
looks
sticks
around.
very strictly to the rules. Yeah, I love the
love
fact that
it.
she's just kind of like
That was
it
It
wasn't
was
an attack. It's like
honestly-
you waited there for her to be like, "I'm here."
Yeah. You know, like, I loved that because it was always one of those things where I've never been that person to, like, shout at them, just turn around, or blah, blah, blah. I've never been that person. But I was so glad to finally see someone break that rule and look behind them and finally, like, because had she not, she would have got it right through the head. I can imagine that death, that knife just going straight through her
Yeah,
head.
we never actually get to see that
I
thing. Like,
loved
play
it.
out.
I thought it was fantastic, and I think she gets it in the shoulder instead or something,
Yeah,
like
she gets
directly
kinda
down or
stabbed.
something. But like that saved her life. Her uncle, like, saved her life.
Yeah,
You know what I
through
mean?
stab, we actually
Through
got like,
stab.
a couple of more scenes of
Yeah.
stab in this movie, which I thought was so cool.
I just thought it was really, really great, and that was one of those details that I did really appreciate, especially for a character that I suppose is derivative of Randy, but like, it was so special to suddenly see, like, it's technically her uncle, but her uncle's actor, of course,
Yeah.
saving her because she's following the rules in a certain way that
Yeah.
did save her. You know what I mean?
It's weird. It's like it removes one layer of meta away from it though, because it's like, but her uncle actually was her uncle and not
Yeah.
Jamie Kennedy. But also he was referencing Jamie Lee Curtis, which is still
Yeah.
like really, really cool.
Yeah.
The layers. This
The
movie,
layers.
like an onion,
Like an onion.
has layers.
Ogres are like layers. So yeah.
There's more Halloween. There's actually quite a few references to Halloween in this movie. We get kind of like the only Halloween movies that are bona fide is if they have Jamie fucking Lee in them. Like, while they're talking to Sydney and stuff, I'm like, that's cool. You know, it's like, I guess it works out that you're here. Like, that's also pretty fucking cool. And then even Manson Shake is like kind of getting... Oh, she is the one... Well, obviously she's the one that killed Dewey because fucking the other guy was right there.
Yeah.
She got shot. Like, she did that to Dewey. That's weird. Yeah. She's like kind of a small chick. Mm-hmm. Whatever. What was I just going to say?
Well, the next thing I was really thinking about was the fact that Sydney was immediately just like, fuck this, I'm not stupid, and begins shooting each of the locked doors.
Oh,
or
yeah,
at least
she
the
does.
Closed doors.
Shoots down us
that was it for me. I was like...
Clever girl.
Did it well.
And
it worked.
She wanted to kill her.
Yeah. It worked.
I wonder how things would have gone differently if she hadn't shot him, because one of the killers is already injured when he's revealed to be the killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? But the way he stumbles down the stairs is kind of exactly the way that Billy does it. Billy! Mm-hmm. But also, we get Sydney and him like kind of throw themselves over the balcony, very Jamie Lee Curtis in the first Halloween, which is also referenced in Scream. It's like the scene that plays out at the time. Yeah. But oh my god, no wait! One thing I forgot about this. On their way up to Woodsboro, they're like,
they put a tracker in her car.
No, she's explaining. Sam's explaining to Richie about what the stab movies are like, and he's like, "So it's like Halloween," and she's like, "No, it's not like Halloween." He's like, "It's about a mass killer," and she's like, "Okay, it's kind of like Halloween." I like that, but it's weird. I actually never. I saw like obvious kind of references and like saturation of Halloween and Scream, but I don't think they're alike. Mm-hmm. Like really, like they're too.
No, I think
they're very different.
Yeah, but also like the what you call it. The difference is like Scream is a whodunit, whereas everyone's like, it's Michael Myers. We all know who it is. We just can't fucking kill the cunt.
Except Laurie. That's weird. Laurie doesn't know that that's Michael
Myers. Laurie!
She doesn't know that's Michael Myers in the first movie.
She just sees it as the boogeyman.
But yeah, she finds out in the second movie. She's like, that little boy who killed his sister.
So, with the sort of reveal, shall we say, of basically Sam gets the jump basically on Amber's character, because Amber is like in Ghostface and she's like, basically Sam's got the gun on her. Yeah. And then Richie is just like shafts her with a very short knife, Jesus, I may say.
Like a charcuterie knife.
Yeah. Oh.
Stabs her in the ribs. Fuck me. Or it's not even in the ribs.
It's sort of like just below the
on the hip. Yeah. Like all the way in. But also poor Amber. Amber just gets thrown around in this movie. Yeah. Like, I feel like you couldn't bring back the clumsy ghost face and like not have it be her, because she literally just gets tossed.
Oh my god.
There's a part at the end where Gail and Sydney pick her up and just throw her over the kitchen island, like in unison. Yeah. And then I think it's Gail that picks up a giant glass bottle of hand sanitizer and smashes it across her face.
And she just goes, "Is that hand
sanitizer?" And her face is just covered in broken glass and shit. But then there's this, like, it's the same scene. Sydney and Gail both look at each other, and Gail's like, "Do you want to do this one?" Or no, Sydney's like, "Do you want to do this one?" She's like, "Yeah," because she's the one that killed Dewey. Yeah. And then she's kind of like, "Oh, he died like a bitch," or whatever like that. And then that's like what makes her do it. Shoots her. She like stumbles back onto the stovetop and lights herself on fire.
I love it.
It was brutal.
I just love that.
For a couple of seconds longer.
I think so too. I think maybe it was just a hand sanitizer, not 100% sure, but like the way suddenly, I don't know how I imagine like a person on fire being, but I imagine like them like, you know, hands up in the air, kind of thing. Like, she was just sort of fumbling around like this, and then falls immediately dead.
And I've seen her do a burn stunt before.
You know what I mean?
I've seen her act like she's on fire before.
Yeah.
You know,
so
once
like,
upon a time in Hollywood, that's exactly.
Maybe they did that better. Do you think?
Oh, for sure. You know? But like, you know, that doesn't like ruin anything for me. But like, I just wish. Also, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is like rated R, like 18s. This was
16s. Yeah.
So it's like what? Like
I think I even said that to you at the beginning of the film when I seen 16 as the sir. I was like, I thought this was like 18s or something.
It's the first three are all 18s and stuff.
I can see why.
You can kind of tell.
Yeah.
But also, I was saying to you, it's like a rated R is like what you can get away with on a lower like age rating these days is different.
To back then.
Also, that's not a law. If you're 14 and you want to go see an 18 rated movie, it's not illegal for you to be there. It's just a suggestion.
Yeah.
I don't see any horror movie you fucking like.
Yeah. The other thing I was actually really interested was how Amber was switching between her two personalities. Was one thing was like, your fucking boyfriend was a pussy and he died like a chimp, and then suddenly he was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't do it, I was pressured into it, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, not buying it, bitch. Not buying it.
I don't think we were ever expected to try and
no. But I just love
like,
the way she immediately like tried to jump back to that, and like then jumped into like, your fucking boyfriend was a pussy and blah blah.
Like, when
and,
she had the upper hand, she was like doing all
I
this,
killed him.
and then post up.
Her mouth ran while she was confident, and then as soon as the gun was at her, she was like, I'm sorry, I was pressured.
Like what they like found each other on Reddit. No, she goes and she was like, all this stuff online, I was radicalized.
Yeah, oh my god. Oh.
And then she lights herself on fire. I loved it.
Great reveal.
But the thing is, I wouldn't even say like, oh, once upon a... Well, I would, because I did. But then her pop up at the end, where she's like, with a knife in hand. That's exactly what happens at the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But whatever. She's killed. So then we get Richie. He is just made into a hamburger. You know? But he is.
Yeah.
You get to see Sam kind of like have her like
She went ham on this hamburger.
I'm just in the mirror. It's like, you go, girl. You fuck him up.
You can almost see him going like, yeah.
But seriously though, it's like a weird. And I'm kind of glad that they kind of explain it away as like it is actually just in her head. It's not like the ghost of Billy Loomis or anything like that. But yeah, there's a moment where he's kind of like, my girl, that's it, you know?
Yeah.
And she goes fucking crazy. It must be like 20, 30 times that she stabs him. She just like goes to town. And then shoots him.
Still alive.
Shoots him in the body 3 times, shoots him in the head
He goes,
twice.
oh, what about my ending? And he goes, here's your ending.
Just cuts. But not a whole throat slice.
Just from here
right
down.
There.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
kind of lame.
But it's the same place where like,
the other two people died,
But, like, fuck, she really goes ham. But I was like, she's going a bit hard for me to kind of think, like, I don't feel so bad for you. You're kind of enjoying this a lot. Yeah. And I thought Sydney and Gail or police or something were going to show up, see her with
doing
the knife raised up
yeah.
and shoot her. I thought she was going to be killed at the end.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to do some like police brutality shit in this movie because of that. Genuinely, I did. But then they just don't.
But they never.
Not every
they
movie
didn't
needs to be social
call.
commentary.
I don't think they called the police. No.
Or an ambulance. Gail gets shot in the stomach, and she's Sydney's like, "You need to go to the hospital." And she's like, "No, you need to go finish this." Okay, we can do both. Like, you can call it. I'm right out here.
Yeah.
Also, Gail doesn't call an ambulance either.
Yeah.
And just walks inside.
Waltzes right on in there.
But again,
you
same
good
day,
in that girl.
She couldn't have done one thing without the other. And Sydney gets stabbed. Sydney reaches for a knife and gets stabbed again in the stomach. Once again, the same place as she did in 4.
I think I seen you like raise your hands to your mouth, and I think we were both explaining. Was like, is this where Sydney dies?
I thought she was going to die.
Yeah.
And I can't say I would be like distraught, because at this point it's like, okay, well, is she immortal? How is, like, what is it? What? 2, 4...
What did Stu say when he was
5.
doing that interview with Sam? He was like, I was stabbed 9 times with severe nerve damage or something like that.
Nerve.
And I'm running on 1 leg or something like that.
Yeah, what do you expect me to do?
Yeah.
He still has a limp in this.
Yeah.
But, like, Sydney has gone up against, 2, 4...
6, 8 killers.
8 killers, and not a single one of them is going to...
No, sorry, 7, because in the 3rd movie it was just
Roman.
Just Roman, so 7 killers. Fuck me, man.
No.
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
it's 9.
7.
It's 9.
No.
It's 9.
How's it 9?
2 in this movie. 2 in...
Up until that point.
Yeah, but now it's 9.
Yeah, now it's 9.
Still nothing.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, fucking hell, Sydney just really is immortal.
Yeah.
I want to see Sydney versus Laurie Strode, and I think
or not
Sydney
Stu, Dewey. Dewey would... Dewey just got the shit end of the stick for most of the series.
I guess, but also he's immortal as fuck.
Yeah.
We're supposed to think he died in the first movie, and then he's alive at the end, and the same in the second movie. I really, like, you really thought he was dead at the end of the second movie.
Oh yeah, for
I don't
sure.
mean like you thought, but it's like
Absolutely, it was implied.
Yeah, they filmed that like a kill. Like it's sad, and there's tears, and Gail's crying.
Yeah.
Blah blah.
Blah blah blah. Listen. So the last thing I kind of really wanted was the Easter eggs that were like popping up every now and then.
Damn, let me get them up.
These were fun. So the first one was I did notice this, but I didn't exactly know what it was. I saw Tatum on a plaque. I thought it was maybe he just like did a little memorial thing to it, but it's actually her ashes in a box.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Because I didn't realize. I saw the name Tatum. I was like, what the fuck? But it was only so quick that I was like, I didn't even realize what it was until I think we looked it up later. I was like, oh, it's actually her ashes.
I thought that was really cute. We don't really get a lot of callback to Tatum in these movies, which I think kind of sucks.
We get Sydney's, of course, her finale looks are credit to her previous looks. So it's always a brown jacket. Brown leather jacket. Come on, Sydney. We do it. We did it live, you know.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Kirby is
confirmed alive
on a YouTube video theory.
Yet to be confirmed. I'm waiting on that.
Of course, Sydney is married to
Mark Kincaid.
It's
which
so
is
cool.
You know, another connection
reference.
To Scream 3. We get Martha, Randy's sister, pops up.
Yeah.
And calls Dewey old, but also, lady, you look
girl.
Really old.
She goes for Sam when she tries to go for the knife. She even looks up at the umbrellas, and we're like, "Oh, is that what's gonna happen? Is that gonna work?" But she also cleans the knife. Just like after she stabs the shit out of him with her bare hands, just like obviously the other serial killers that do it as well. So like those are some really good stuff, and of course we get some new scenes from the Stab movies.
I thought that was really, really cool. I'm going to go through the IMDb of the Stab movies for a moment. At the start, and we get to see Jennifer from Scream 3. Like she's like on the IMDb list. But then in my mind we figured out yesterday Gail was in the first Stab movie. But I'm like, if Jennifer Jolie was also in the first Stab movie, who the fuck is Gail playing?
Yeah.
Cotton Weary playing?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. You know, like in that first Stab movie, Cotton Weary would have to be a character who was like, they would show him like, oh well no, I suppose he didn't actually try and rape anybody or whatever, but like
flashbacks, am I right?
Oh no, I thought just kind of like before we were like kind of start to wrap up, I really thought we were going to get flashbacks to the first movie, a la kind of
Scream 3.
Well, no, really kind of like Back to the Future 2, where it's like same scenes, different perspective.
Okay, right.
You know, 'cause so
just explain this to me, because I don't know how this would work.
Because I thought if we were going to get direct ties to the first movie,
because that was sort of like the plot line of this film.
Yeah, it was. The requel. You know, it's like you do the first movie, different setting, different characters, while keeping it in universe and connected. But I thought, I don't know, I just thought we were going to get... Because also it was a rumour that Billy was seen on set... Not Billy, Skeet Ulrich was seen on set as Billy. Like, in that costume. So people were like, oh... Why would he be dressed like that in the finale kind of get-up if we weren't going to see some kind of other thing? Yeah. And we didn't, but like, I don't know, I was kind of expecting to see like the Becker house or Sydney's house. Stuff like that, I don't know. But we didn't, but like again, like I'm not mad at it. Yeah. I'm still very happy with the movie. Yeah. Very, very happy. And I would be happy to see sequels to this movie.
So would I. I'm happy to see. Yes. You see, look at that. Like, I am 100% against, like, over-exaggerating sequels and blah, 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 i.e. a la Friday the 13th, all of that kind of thing. Nightmare. Yeah. But, it does, doesn't it? But, like, as long as it's written well, I am happy to have sequels, and I don't mind the whole whodunit guessing game, because like that's part of the Scream franchise. It's fun. It's just a good time, you know. I
think that's like you kind of can't have Scream without that, because otherwise, like, what would it be?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's supposed to be. You even said it's supposed to be kind of like a modernization of like an Agatha Christie novel. Yeah, where the whole time you're figuring out like who is it. You know?
Who the fuck is doing these murders?
So,
Yeah.
oh,
Five
final
cream.
shot. The final shot is the same as the first movie.
I loved that. That was a
And
great
it's lady
reference.
kind of dressed as Gale Weathers. It's
Uh-huh.
a lady in a bright yellow suit. And it's a zoom out.
In the daytime.
In
Oh,
the
sorry,
daytime.
dawn. It's
Dawn.
sort of dawn. Yeah,
Dawn.
yeah.
But I wonder how they're going to link up, because they're going to make a sequel to this.
Yeah.
They will.
But I don't
75%.
want it 1 year's time. I want it 5-6 years down the line. I don't want it immediate.
Yeah. We just need another like small switch up in horror before
Yeah.
I think we can kind of go again. You know.
Yeah, I do think the more often you expect these films, it's the same as like fast fashion. The more rapid you get it, the less quality they are.
I was going to say, quality over quantity. I don't need 10 screams, but I'm very happy to have 8 very good screams
Yeah, exactly.
over the span of the next 20
Exactly.
years or so.
Yeah. Very, very happy to see. I'd give it my money. I would throw, if this were a hooker on a stage, I would throw it some money.
Yeah. Hookers, man.
Yeah, some great
Just
stage
like a
performers.
movie. Yeah.
I would
It's a
slap.
movie episode.
I would slap a $10 bill in its tights. So yeah, that is our
Cream.
5 Cream 2022. This is our initial thoughts. Now you go and you watch them and you make up your own goddamn mind how you think about it, how you feel is your own certain type of way.
And I feel like we gave you guys kind of enough to listen to without just explicitly spoiling anything. So like,
Oh, I think we just fully spoiled
no, I mean like
it.
there's like an episode that isn't just like straight up spoiler.
Yeah, true.
You know?
Yeah, fair.
I stay away from social media so hard with this movie.
I just never watched anything. I watched the first, I think it was the teaser, and then I never watched anything. I didn't watch any plot releases or it was a trailer synopsis or whatever. None of that stuff. I knew absolutely nothing. The only things I knew going into the film was the 3 of them were back, and it was set back in Wolfsboro, and I knew Stu's house was going to be in the movie somehow.
Yeah.
And then that's literally all I knew going into this film. And I think I even said it to you before, because there's like, I don't have any expectations going in, but I'm not going in to shit on it either. Do you know what I mean? So like, I was just happy. I was happy to go in and I had a good time. I did.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
Yeah, to me, the big comparison this was going to be was for Halloween 2018, the kind of revamping, if you will, the requel kind of aspect of it. And I think I've let it be known before on this. I didn't like 2018's Halloween initially. When I first saw it, I had way too many questions, and a lot of it didn't make sense. And even still, I kind of don't like that movie that much. But with this, I was so excited to get back here and talk about it.
Yeah, it's a good time. So definitely go watch it in cinemas. Support your local cinema, because we do want to keep seeing shit on the big screen. That's important, especially for horror movies. So yeah, that was 5 Cream 2022, and it's only initial reviews. So
Cinema is 2 hours away from me.
so go make up your own goddamn minds about what you want to see and what you think of this movie.
Give this movie your money. This is the kind of horror movies we need to keep seeing.
Yes, exactly. Even if it's not quote unquote elevated horror.
Yeah, but I don't know how they would do that. I don't know how.
No, you can't elevate Scream. It's
fun,
just
stupid
it's a
slasher
fun,
movie.
stupid slasher movie with some good gory kills. And
Don't
for
lie.
me, even if it's a
Pardon me?
stupid pardon me, even if it is a fun, stupid movie, I still like some really gory shit on a horror movie. So I'm happy to see guts and blood fly everywhere every single time. So go for it.
I'm hoping for an unrated cut of this movie.
Me too. I think there might have been some shit cut out from
There
it.
definitely was. There's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff in the trailer that wasn't in the actual movie. But you know what? If an unrated cut comes out, we might do like a comparison or something.
Exactly.
That'd be
If
fun.
there's enough to make a comparison of.
Yeah.
Definitely in a retrospect, that's for sure. So, next week.
The gays are taking over.
This is going to be fun. We're going to be doing
We're gonna bully some straight people. Speaking of Berlin,
Baden-Meinhof. We have Suspiria.
Suspiria.
Now,
2018 though.
yes, we're
Guadagnino.
Luca Guadagnino, famously panned, but we are we're going to have a good time.
Amazon did that movie dirty.
We're going to have a good time with it. We're going to have some laughs, and
We'll get into all that next week.
we'll get into all of it next week.
Featuring super special surprise guests.
Hopefully. If they don't turn around beforehand and say no.
Okay, if it happens, Ryan, so help me God. I'll be so pissed. The episode is getting canned. And we're going to do the original first. And I can't even say the N word. I can't say the N word.
This world that we live in.
But yeah.
I knew I'd get that in there somewhere.
Yeah, I was trying to find a way to work it out.
Yeah.
But, damn, we better delete that part. No joke.
Yeah.
But, right, for real, bro.
Fuck you if you don't do it. If you pull out too early.
You better show up.
No one never likes
age
someone
on
pulling
me.
out too early. So you've been listening to They're Here podcast.
Yes, you have.
Make sure to like and
My
subscribe.
Facebook now entirely is just all posts and
Cancel
stuff.
it.
I know, I'm so gonna like that.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment below if you want to hear anything that you really, really want to hear. So of course next week we're going to be retrospecting Suspiria.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And we're going to have a good time doing it. So make sure to follow us on our Instagram page at They're Here Podcast. Like and subscribe. Or no, follow of course. For some daily updated content.
Bye.
Bye bye now.
Okay, in 1990.